Thanks for joining us for Issues and Answers. I'm Ian Boyne. Today we talk economic growth. We have with us the chairman of the Economic Growth Council, Mr. Michael Leachin. Recently, the council presented its first report, extensive report, looking at its ideas for economic growth. The chairman certainly has made it clear that he believes that we can achieve a 5% economic growth in 4 years. Some say that's unachievable. Our history of attempted economic growth over the last 40 years has not been encouraging at all. Why is this report different from other reports which have been written about our economic prospects? Well, Michael Leachin will tell us. Thank you for your company. So the Economic Growth Council has presented its initial report after 85 meetings. What essentially are you saying to the country, Michael Leachin?
Well, we're saying, firstly, it was important to have gone through that process of sitting down with the majority of stakeholders of Jamaica. 85 of them, 85 meetings.
85 meetings.
So what we have done is collated what we heard, distilled what we heard, and put it out in the form of 8 initiatives. So this report isn't really our own native thoughts. They are a reflection of what Jamaicans are hoping for, what they're thinking, and what they would love to see happen.
What are some of the main ideas which have been put forward?
Well, throughout the 85 meetings, the recurring theme was we need to address citizens' security. Citizens' security is the reason why more investors aren't coming, the reason why our currency is weak, the reason why, and it just ripples right through the effect. So that's a major one. That's a heavily weighted one.
Yes.
Another one is, as an example, would be access to financing.
That's right.
That's another major one, etc.
Yes. And with regard to that access to financing, there have been often criticisms of our financial sector, to which you are not unfamiliar, and the risk-averse nature of the financial sector. Can we have economic growth if our financial sector remains as conservative as it is?
Well, the first mandate that a financial institution has is not to lose the depositors' money. Yes. So by definition, a financial institution has to be conservative by definition, because it's not our money, it's depositors' money, right? So, so when we talk about economic growth, it's more than the financial institutions. They're important, but it's much more than the financial institutions. And as I said, one of the main topic would be access to financing, make it more ubiquitous, available to everybody.
So how do you see that happening? Because take the matter of development banking, venture capital.
Yes.
There are many who feel that we don't have adequate mechanisms where through development banking, where the bank really takes the risk for people who have great ideas but little collateral.
Well, firstly, banks, that's not the business of a commercial or
development bank.
Development bank, okay.
Bank, yeah.
So let's step back a little bit, Ian. We all watched Rio, that Sunday night, men's 100-meter race, right? We saw 8 men went down. On your marks, of the 8 men who were present that night, how many of them were Saudi Arabian princes? How many?
Yes, I can't recall.
None.
Yes.
How many of them? How many of the 8 were born with a golden spoon in their mouth?
True.
None.
Yes.
So what we saw there that night was the perfect meritocracy.
Yes.
So when you have a meritocratic system, you see what we saw, right? You have, it's only a matter of desire that will win. Perseverance, hard work, right? So what we need to build in Jamaica is a meritocratic society. Unfortunately, we don't. We have a society where you have capital aristocracy. You have intellectual aristocracy. You have access aristocracy. We don't have a meritocracy. So now, we now have to address that situation because we can't get the best if we have various aristocracies and not a meritocracy. So our job at the EGC is to do what we can to level the playing field so that if you have the desire, you're willing to put in the hard work and perseverance, you can be on that playing field.
So through what mechanisms would you accomplish that? How? There are people watching us now with ideas, there are people watching us wanting to be entrepreneurial, but they are blocked, they don't have the opportunities for financing and so on. What hope can you give those persons?
Well, firstly, the realism is that most ventures are not successful. That's the reality,
that's
right?
True.
So therefore, if you are, we now have to develop an ecosystem to really distill ventures into those that are successful, and then provide access to equity capital, which is venture capital, and the various forms of financing, mezzanine, and the various types of debt. So we have to look at our entire ecosystem. So what we're doing is architecturing a plan that will deal with all the various aspects. And then we'll put in a mechanism whereby we can implement that plan. So we're re-looking at the entire architecture of our financial system and making sure that we are covering all the bases, which is not the case right now.
So it won't be business as usual at all if the Economic Growth Council's ideas are to be followed.
Ian,
you're looking to change things.
Business as usual
has
gotten us to where we are.
That's true. We've got to be mad as hell about our current situation.
Exactly.
Michael Lechin is chair of the Economic Growth Council. We're talking about some of the ideas that that's put in the public square. We take a break, but we'll be right back.